you ever could say anything to everybody who's trying to hit these type of like high elo ranks, right? Like, what would you tell them? Like,
Always play in 5 stacks. That's like the best way
mm,
to rank up.
How y'all doing? Welcome to this video. I got myself here an underground champ player that got champ in the first 2 weeks of the new season, which is pretty exciting, right? I decided to go ahead and ask him a few questions on, how he got champ, because, that's kind of crazy. It's not easy to get champ in the first 2 weeks. So why don't we go ahead and ask my boy a few questions
What's
and
up,
see what he got to
guys?
say for us.
yeah. We're gonna ask a few questions. All right. So first of all, you want to introduce yourself, Vision?
My name is visionmyster. I stream on Twitch.
Okay.
R6 is mostly my main game.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. All right. Firstly, okay, this is a good one. I have this question for you. All right. So take your time with every answer. You know what I mean? Answer as much as you want. So how important is aim in high elo and champ?
You just have to have like decent aim, know how to be able to shoot straight. You don't have to be like all flashy. Because me personally, I'm not a flashy type player. I just have good enough aim, but more or less it's more game sense than it is aim.
Okay. Okay, so that kind of brings us to the next question. Okay, that makes sense. I understand. That's kind of what people usually say, so it makes sense. So the next question is, how important is game sense?
I believe game sense is like the number one factor, like to
Okay.
ranking up and beating the better players. Because like some
Okay.
players aren't like mechanically aim skilled. So how you beat those players is by game sense and working with your team to out strategy what they're setting up to.
Okay, that does make a lot of sense. Yeah, if you have the brain right to be able to decipher what's happening, then you know you could outdo most of the other players. Okay. This is a good question. Yeah, I have here for you. Is what type of stack do you need to win that many games in a row? Because I know you won a lot of games in a row, right? Because you got champ pretty quickly. So what kind of stack does that require?
Like for me personally, like the players that like I prefer
Mm-hmm.
is like people that who have a lot of game sense, who are
Okay.
very passionate about winning and only winning. They don't care about their how many kills they got or what's going on.
Okay.
Because I
Okay,
know
that's
this
fair.
this this season, my main focus on was picking up players who have a lot of game sense,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say that this season's been the best season for winning as many games as I did early on because I picked up players that have game sense only. Like in the past, I picked up like people who are just straight aimers, but like they would sell because they're overheating because they can go for more kills or whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that sounds cool.
But normally you
That's
would want like at least 2 support players, 1 flex player, and like 1 really good aimer. But
two
as long as
support,
you
one
have all
flex, and
really
one.
good game sense, it doesn't really matter.
Okay, so game sense is the number one right here, guys. Game sense. I put that in your notes, guys. Okay, this is kind of similar to the other question. So, but I'm still gonna ask. I got it on here. I said, "What's the most important thing to master if you want to hit champ in the first 2 weeks?"
Mm, that's a tough question.
Okay.
Just map knowledge,
Ooh.
like
Okay. So.
knowing
Mhm.
knowing the map knowledge of every map, like all the callouts you need to know. That is like probably the number one thing that will help you as like a diamond or champion player is knowing the callouts. Because like I've played with people that will call out like over here or on ping, but
Mhm.
like sometimes you're in the moment you don't have time to like look
Mhm.
around.
I second that. Okay. I'm actually surprised you said that. I was expecting a different kind of answer, but that low-key caught me off guard. I'll take that. I'll take that. Okay. How about this one? So I'm gonna ask you if you ever could say anything to everybody who's trying to hit like these type of like high elo ranks, right? Like what would you tell them? What do you got for them?
Always play in 5 stacks. That's like the best way
Mm,
ranked up, in my opinion. Like me personally, I love to win. I don't like to lose at all. So sometimes I can sacrifice playing with my friends on my main account to play with people I know who are going to be passionate and want to win.
okay, that's fair actually. See, I didn't expect that answer either. That's why we do. That's why we do these kind of like videos, guys. Okay, that's pretty much all my questions. Mm,
Droning is like a
ooh.
number one thing if you want to rank up. Because I know a lot of
Facts.
people just like to run and gun, but droning and knowing where people are so you can call out to your
Facts.
teammates so you guys can communicate. How are we going to clear the sky, guys? Like, what do we have to do? Like, I have flashes. We can open up the wall, or we can nade them out and force them into a cut play.
True. Okay. So droning, app knowledge, the game sense, 5 stacks. 5 stacks. I will second that. I'm currently doing a solo queue type of thing right now. Right? If you guys go on my Twitch, you'll see. So I 100% understand 5 stacks. 5 stacks. It's the game is designed around 5 stack, and it's not designed around anything else, right? So if you play how the game's designed, you're just gonna be winning more often, right? Okay, that makes a lot of sense. All right. So that's all my questions. If you want to say anything else, you can. But I think that's gonna be the end of this one. All right.
No, I have no more comments.
No more comments? Okay. All right, I appreciate you doing this interview, man. This has actually been a blast. I actually learned a thing or two. Man, if you guys been watching this, watch from the beginning over to the end, drop real one in the comments, okay? Drop a real one in the comments. Anyways, for the end of this interview, appreciate you, Vision, taking your time to do this.
Yep, appreciate it. You guys have a good day.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.